Hi guys, it's Jasmine with Little Learners Play, and today we're going to learn about coordinate points. What are coordinate points? What do they look like? How do you plot them? So, if you've seen a graph before, typically it just looks like this. You've probably also seen something that looks like this. So, what is that and how do we graph it, right? So, first of all, something you need to know is that the line that's vertical, let me highlight it. This line right here, if you can see that, I'm not sure. This line here, that is the y-axis. And essentially, this is the y value. So we're going to connect the dots later, but just know for now that's the y-axis. Numbers go up and down. That's essentially how tall or that's how high or low a coordinate point is. And then let's highlight the x-axis. This in green, let's label it. That's the x-axis. And that's how much to the left or to the right the coordinate point is. So with this coordinate point up here, the first number is the x value, and the second number is the y value. So this middle point, we just always know the middle point, where the blue line intersects the green line, where the x-axis intersects the y-axis, that's gonna just be 0, 0. It's like it hasn't gone up, it hasn't gone left, it hasn't gone right, it hasn't gone down. It's just straight in the middle. It's 0, 0. But see, with our point here, we have 1, 2. So if 1 is the x-axis and 2 is the y, and then we know x is like left and right and y is up and down, how do we graph this? So first, let me add some tallies. Just 1, 2, 3 on each side. Anything to the left of 0 is a negative number because it's less than 0. So it's going to be -1, -2, -3. Now, up we go 1, 2, 3. I'm just picking a few numbers because it's a very small graph I drew, so I don't have much room, but that's just what I'm going to do. So this is what you're going to see. Maybe it'll have more numbers or less numbers, but essentially it goes to the right, positive numbers, to the left, negative numbers. When you go up, it's positive numbers, and when you go down, it's negative numbers, okay? And if you're confused as to why, like I said, the center point is 0, 0. So anything above 0 is positive, so positive and positive. And anything below 0, like to the left of it, negative, negative, okay? Now let's get rid of some of this mess. Okay. So how do we plot 1, 2? Well, it's actually very simple. So let me get a different color. Okay, I'm going to get red. So to plot 1, 2, as you can see, 1 is the x value because the first number in the coordinate point, which is obviously 1, that's the x value. And if this is the x-axis, then we should be looking at one of these numbers. So which one says 1? Well, I see it's this. So I'm going to have my cursor right around there. That's not the point, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. Now the second step is to look at the y value, which goes up and down. So the y value, which is the second one, is 2. So I'm going to go up, 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 up until I find the number 2. So this dash is 2. So let me connect the dots. So if this is the line for the number 2 and this is the line for number 1, then the dot should be right here. Right? So I know that's a little messy, so let me clean that up a bit. It should be right about here. Because the 2 is right here and the 1 is right here, so they meet right there. Now, I know that was messy and a little bit confusing just because it was the first time, so let's try a different example. and I will make it a little bit more clean. So here's our graph. Okay, I'm just going to do 1 and 2. Again, numbers to the left of the center are going to be negative, and numbers below the center are going to be negative. Let's say our coordinate point that we're asked to draw the dot for is 2, 1. So 2 is the x value because it's the first one, and y is the 1. 1 is the y value. So let me change my color. So first, let's start with the 2. Look on the x-axis. Where do you see the number 2? Because I see it right here. So just keep in mind that this is where we're at. Then look at the y value. I see 1, and so this is where we're at. Now, essentially, you can draw the dots to connect right there. So let me make that a little bit clearer. This line extends all the way here, and this line, it goes all the way here. So together, that would be right about there. And you wouldn't need those other black lines. You just want the dot. So there we go. 2. So it's 2 to the right because the x-axis is all about right and left. And then 1 up because y-axis is all about up and down. Let's do a few more. It starts to get more clear as you do more practice. Again, all numbers to the left of this center dot are going to be negative because anything less than 0 is negative, and anything below it is negative because anything less than 0 is negative. I'm not going to do one with negative numbers on this example, but I will in maybe another example. So let's say we have to do 4, 3. Okay. So we know 4 is the x value, so that is like how much to the left or how much to the right it is. And 3 is the y value, so that's how up or down it is. So let's change my color. Let's do green this time. So let's start with the x-axis, find 4. I see it right here. And then let's go on the y-axis, find 3. I see it right here. Now, either you can do it in your mind, or if you need to draw it out, draw a connecting line to see where they intersect. And it would be right up, sorry, that's a little messy. And right about here. But, of course, you don't want to have that line on your paper because you really don't need the line. You should just be able to think in your head, okay, well, you go 4 to the left and you go up 1, 2, 3, so it should be right there. And you don't really need to draw the lines. Okay, now what if our question said -4, 3. Let's actually do black. Well, if it said -4, 3, we have to find -4 on the x-axis. I see it right here. And then we have to find +3 on the y-axis, which is this up and down line. And I see it right here. So if you need to draw the line, the dot would be right here at that corner. But you really don't need to because all you're doing is imagining where the line would be, and then you can pretty easily draw it. There you go. Now, what if it was not -4, 3, but it was -4, -3? In that case, so find -4 on the x-axis, I see it right here, and find -3 on the y-axis, which is the up and down line, and I see it right here. So if you have to connect the dots, it would be right here. But you shouldn't need to connect the dots. Just imagine where the lines would meet, and it would be right about here. So you go 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 down. 1, 2, 3. I'm following these numbers, by the way. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's do just one more example, and then that'll be it. All right, let's say we have 2, -4. So you want to go 2 to the right because it's positive 2, right? And again, this is the x-axis, y. So x-axis, we know we're talking about right and left, but 2 is positive, so it must be going right. So I see 2 is right here. But, sorry, I meant to do this. And then let me look on the up and down y-axis for -4. Oh, I see it right here. So if you have to draw the line, it would be right there that it connects. But you really don't need the line. Sorry, ignore that. And let me rewrite the 4 because it's blocked. Yeah, so the dot would be right about there. This little red dot right here. Okay. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this makes more sense now. That's really all there is to it. X-axis, you're looking like how much to the right or how much to the left do I go, and y-axis, how up or how down, and connect whatever lines you've drawn or in your head or whatever, and then draw the point. In our next video, we're still going to be focusing on graphs, so if you want to learn more about graphs, watch the next video. Enjoy!